Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer Showdown. It's been a hot minute since we've done one. This is episode 9, and I know this because I checked earlier, because I know the last few times I was like, I don't even remember. It doesn't feel like it's been 9 of them, but here we are. I'm here with Hunter again. How's it going, Hunter?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. We've got a couple of spicy decks that we're featuring today. So I'm going to be playing black-red vampires, but it's also like a little bit of a madness theme to it, which will make sense, as the video goes along. I'm playing a lot of vampires that care about discarding cards and then getting value from discarding said cards. So Hunter, what are you playing today?
I am playing a black-red deck as well, but I'm going to be playing Sacrifice, but I'm going to be playing more cards that care about the sacrifice theme than what, like, the meta list would normally play.
Okay, fair enough. We got a little battle of the Rakdos decks here today. So, okay, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and shuffle it for game number 1 of 4, and we'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are here for game number 1. Hunter is on the play. Hunter, how's your hand looking?
Looking good. I got some lands. I got a Cauldron Familiar and a Mayhem Devil, so hopefully we can make something of it.
All right, sounds good. My hand's looking pretty good. I got 3 lands, I got a 1, 2s, and 3 drops, so we're looking pretty solid. So you can go ahead and start us off.
All right, we're going to play Hive of the Eye Tyrant untapped and play a Cauldron Familiar.
I'm at 19.
Go ahead.
All right, draw. That's a draw for sure. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with a Blackleaf's Cliffs, and then I'm going to play a Knight of the Ebon Legion, and I'm going to pass.
Tap, draw. I'm going to play a Blackleaf's Cliffs untapped. I'm going to Fatal Push the Knight. I'm going to attack you for 1.
18.
Go ahead.
I feel like I've lost a Knight of the Ebon Legion a lot more than I've beat a Knight of the Ebon Legion.
Same.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play a Swamp. And then I'm going to go ahead and follow it up with a Gifted Aetherborn. And I'm going to pass.
That's pretty good. Tap, draw. I'm going to play a Blood Crypt untapped. We are going to claim the Firstborn, your Gifted Aetherborn.
I think I've seen this sequence before.
Attack for 3, gain 2. And then second main, we're going to Deadly Dispute, sack that, make a treasure, and draw 2. And you may go.
Alright, well, let's see if I can finally get a creature on the board here.
I would rather you not.
I bet you wouldn't. I'm going to go ahead and play a Seer Step Pathway. Tap 2. I'm going to play a Blood Tithe Harvester. Sure, I'm going to get a blood token. And then I'm going to tap 1. I'm going to play a Falconwrath Gorger. I'm going to pass.
There's a lot of creatures untapped.
Yeah, there would have been a couple more if they wouldn't keep dying.
Well, I think we are going to play Mayhem Devil, sack this for a black, trigger, deal that 1, and then Fatal Push the other.
Jesus Christ.
And we're going to attack for 1.
14. Pass. All right, let's see if I can finally get something going here, which that wasn't bad. Let's see here. Got a lot of different options here, and I think that this one is the best one. So I'm going to tap 1, play a Falconwrath Gorger, and I think for right now, I'm going to go ahead and pass.
Untap, draw. Gonna play a Haunted Ridge untapped, play a Voldarian Epicure, deal you damage and make a blood.
I'll respond to the trigger.
Sure.
I'm gonna Bitter Triumph Mayhem Devil, and I think I'm actually gonna pay 3 because I kind of like the cards in my hand. So destroy the Mayhem Devil. And then I think I took the 1. I should be at 11, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Get a blood. I suppose that changes things. Guess we're just going to Fatal Push that now.
Yep.
And attack for 1.
All right, I'm at 10. If I can get 10, 10.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to draw. That wasn't too bad, but it wasn't too good. How many cards do you have in hand?
Uno.
I'm going to go ahead and play Drana, Liberator of Malakir. Go ahead.
Pretty good. Untap and draw. I'm gonna tap this. We're gonna sacrifice the blood to discard Blackcleave Cliffs to draw a card. And then I think we're gonna tap 2 and play a Zoya Lava Tongue.
And beginning answer, if you descended this turn, your opponent may discard a card sacrifice permanent. Plus 3 damage to the opponent who did. Okay.
So I am going to move to end step and trigger Zoya because Blackcleave Cliffs went to my graveyard.
Yeah.
So you either discard, sacrifice permanent, or take 3.
It's just any permanent. It's not non-token or anything.
A permanent. Any permanent.
A permanent. I think I'm just going to get rid of the blood.
All right.
Yeah, let's do the blood.
Go ahead.
Draw. That was a decent draw. Unfortunately, I still don't think I can attack. So I'm just going to go ahead, tap 1. I'm going to play a Falconwrath Gorger, and I'm going to pass.
I'm going to untap and draw. Suppose we were going to play a Castle untapped. Tap 3, and we're going to cast Obnixilis the Adversary, sacrificing Voldarian Epicure for casualty.
Yeah.
And we're just going to call this Obnixilis number 2.
Sure.
So, tick down, make a 1/1 Devil. That when it dies, deals 1 damage to any target, and then we're going to tick up the other one. Each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If I control a demon or a devil, I gain 2.
Yeah. I lose 2 life is what it is?
You either lose 2 or discard.
I'll lose 2.
And move to end step.
Before moving to end step.
Sure.
I'm going to Fatal Push your homeboy there.
That's rude. All right, go ahead.
Okay, draw. Let's see here. A couple different options. I think I'm going to take the path of least resistance here. I'm going to move to combat. Let's see. I think I'm just going to play it safe here, and I'm just going to attack the token for 2. Unfortunately, this one deals damage to a player, not a player or a planeswalker. Then I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play a Nighthawk Scavenger. And I'm going to pass, and it's number of card types, which, how many you got there? You got at least creature, land.
Creature, land, instant, sorcery.
All right, so we'll do that. So go ahead.
Tap, draw. Interesting. So we're gonna tick up. You either discard a card or lose 2. And I forgot to gain 2 the last time, but
I think I'm gonna lose 2.
I'll gain 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're gonna do this. We're gonna play Obnixilis, sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar, keep the new one, get a token that'll be at 1. And then we're gonna tick up, make you lose 2 or lose 2 or discard.
Yeah, I'm gonna discard. Discard Bitter Triumph.
Gain 2, and then I'm gonna tick up, make you lose 2 or discards, lose 2. I'll be at that many, 27. So you go.
Alright, draw. Okay, so player did. I gotta read this other part of Nicholas here. Dude. Okay. Okay, well, definitely not in a good situation here, but we're not dead yet. So, man, it sucks. I gotta keep attacking those darn planeswalkers. I'm gonna move to combat.
Yep.
I'll attack that for 2 and this for 4.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to go to 8. And then second main phase, I'm going to play a Knight of the Ebon Legion, and I'm going to pass.
I'm going to untap and draw.
Sucks, because I wanted to trigger that, but I got to take care of those planeswalkers, so... Also, you got a planeswalker, so it should be 5. Couple different lines there, because you got your castle and you got the hive.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna activate Hive, attack you, exile Blood Tithe Harvester from your graveyard, I suppose.
Yeah, so you've got, this is for 4 right here, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna go to 4.
Go ahead.
I don't want to block, because if I block the devil, then you could kill my knight, assuming I block with that, if I lose that. So it's just not really good for me either way here. We'll go ahead and play Voldaren Estate. A couple different options here. I don't mind pumping the knight, though, to a certain extent. It'd be really hard for me to lose from this standpoint, because you're at 26, right?
Yes. Or 27.
27, okay. Okay. Let's see, because unfortunately I'm 1 vampire short for just tapping it, making a blood. I'll go ahead and move to combat.
Yep.
And I will attack
Yep.
here. Do I want to pump the knight? I don't think I do, because I really want the blood token. So I'll attack here. So you'll take 2 first strike damage,
Yep.
which then triggers Drana, which deals puts a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature. So I guess I'll do that for shortening purposes. So then that, and this, and this. So then you'll take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I'm going to gain 6. I'm going to go to 10.
And I will go to 14.
Okay. And then end step, I'm going to trigger Knight of the Ebon Legion.
Yep.
And I'm going to put a counter on that. And I'm going to pass.
All right. Untap, draw. Not what I was hoping to draw. Well, I'm going to shock that in, I suppose. Gonna play a Blood Tithe Harvester.
Blood.
Make a blood.
Okay, ignore my. I got blood. I got a blood token. Even though I'm gonna need a blood token in a second here, so actually. Yeah, that kind of looks like a devil, except it's Knuckle Bolus. Yeah, we have a lot of tokens here in our token box, but we don't have the devil token.
And I suppose I'm just gonna pass.
Okay, end step. I'm gonna go ahead and make a blood token.
Yep.
Because with Voldaren Estate costs 1 less for each vampire I have, and I have 4 vampires. So, also this is supposed to have a counter, which not that it counted for the last combat, but that does actually have a counter. So okay, I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sack the blood. I'm gonna discard this swamp, and I'm gonna draw a card. That's funny. Let's see here. 10. I think we just get frisky. Move to combat.
Yep.
We will attack with the knuckleheads. Yeah, these guys got flying.
I unfortunately have to just block like that.
Okay. All right. So this will trigger. So you'll take 3. You'll take 3 damage from that, and then Drana triggers. Puts a counter on all of the homeboys. 2, and then this gets a 3rd counter. So you'll just take 7 from the Nighthawk Scavenger. So then I'm going to gain 7 from that, and then yeah, I got no other effects.
Bills will trade.
Oh yeah.
This dies. I'll ping you for 1.
Yep. Go to 16. And then I'm going to go ahead and play this. Actually, do we want to play the swamp? No, I'm not going to play the swamp. I'll move to end step. and then I'll trigger Knight of the Ebon Legion, and I'll pass.
Still in your end step, I'm going to activate Castle Lochwain and draw a card and lose a life for each card in my hand. Go to 1. Untap and draw. Sack the blood, discard blood crit, draw a card. And that, unfortunately, does not get me there.
All right, that was it was a lot closer than what life totals say. I mean, the scavenger is what dug me back into the game there with the life game.
One card away.
Oh, was it something spicy?
Oh, it was the answer I was looking for.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and shuffle up for game number 2, and we'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are back for game number 2. Hunter is on the play. How's your hand looking?
I got land, spells, some 1s and 2s, and some 3s, and we should be good to go.
Oh, can't ask for much more than that. My hand's looking pretty good. Got some 1s and 2s and 3s again, so we got a pretty solid hand here. So, all right, Hunter, you can go ahead and start us off.
Den of the Bugbear untapped into Witch's Oven. Go ahead.
Okay, draw. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go ahead and play a Takenuma, and I'm gonna pass.
Untap, draw. I'm going to play a Cleaves untapped and play a Blood Tithe Harvester and make a blood.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass.
Gross, a Blood Tithe Harvester, huh? Takes a deal. You could choose twice the number of blood tokens. It's kind of gross. This is not really good value, but I think I'm going to go ahead and push it.
Oh, I think I'm going to sacrifice it to the oven in response to make a food.
I got some dudes that I really don't want dying in the late game, so that's why I'm going to do that. Cavern, I'll go ahead and name vampires.
For all my counter spells.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I might Tybalt's Trickery you.
Right. And then I'm going to play a Stromkirk Condemned, and I'm going to pass.
All right. Untap and draw. You're going to play a land for turn. And I think we're going to do the same old song and dance. We're going to play a Blood Tithe Harvester.
Yeah.
We're going to claim the Firstborn.
I'm just going to go ahead and preemptively take 2.
Yeah.
And then you can get your food.
And you can go.
All right. I'm going to draw.
Oh, I get another blood, too.
Oh, yeah. Couple different options here. Fortunately, none of them are really that good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and play a Blood Crypt tapped, and I'm going to play a Gift Aetherborn. I'm going to pass.
I'm going to untap and draw. Oh, I'm going to play a Witch's Oven.
The oven.
I'm going to claim the Firstborn again.
All right, 16. Actually, 13.
I will gain 2.
Yep, and you can get your food token.
Yep, and you may go.
All right, draw. Okay, well, I drew a land eventually. I'll play another cavern, and I will name vampires.
Don't you have another tribe in the deck that you could name just for like to get them?
I can name Ally, or like I could name Aetherborn.
That's cute.
All right. Let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and play another Gifted Aetherborn, and I'm going to pass.
All right. Gonna untap, draw. I think we're gonna tap the Blood Tithe Harvester to give that -4/-4 until end of turn.
It's not very nice, but it happens. Okay.
And then we're gonna play a Zoya Lava Tongue.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna move to end step.
Before moving to end step.
Yep.
I'm gonna Bitter Triumph that. I'll just take 3.
All right. In response, I will sacrifice it. I don't know why I'm put those over there and get a food.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Tap, draw. Let's see. Not exactly what we wanted, but it's fine. I'll go ahead and play a Blightstep Pathway, and I'll go ahead and play a Drana. Go ahead.
All right. Gonna untap and draw.
Actually, no, never mind. I already passed, so we've done something a little different, but that's all right.
I'm gonna play a Castle Lochwain untapped, and I'm gonna pass.
Okay, Draw. That's not a good draw. I'm going to tap 3. I'm going to play a Markov Baron.
All right.
And then I'm going to move to combat.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and attack for 3.
I'm going to take 3.
And then I'll trigger, put a counter on that, and pass.
On your end step, I'm going to draw a card with Castle Lochwain and lose life equal to the number of cards in my hand, which will be 2.
Nice.
I'm going to untap, draw. Pathway. I think we're gonna Deadly Dispute, sack one of the foods, draw 2, make a treasure token.
Yeah.
Then we are gonna play a Blood Tithe Harvester and make a blood, and
that blood is being very harvested on this day.
it is. And I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Tap. Draw. Well, let's run it again. I'm going to go ahead and play another Markov Baron.
Alrighty.
And I'm going to move to combat. And I will attack. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8.
I will take it and go to 9.
So you'll take a little bit more because this will trigger.
I'll take 1 more.
Yep. So then that'll put a counter on each of these guys. Yep. So you'll take 4 from that. So I'll go ahead and pass.
On your end step, I'm going to tap 1, sacrifice a blood, and discard the Blighted Pathway to draw a card.
Yeah.
And untap, draw.
When I used to play this card back in the day, I was a noob and I didn't understand First Strike, so I used to play it. I used to play it worse than it actually is. This is a close one.
It is indeed. So we are gonna cast a Mayhem Devil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Mayhem Devil. The card's so innocuous when it was first printed, but it's real good.
It's real good. Gonna tap the Blood Tithe Harvester, sacrifice it, trigger. I'm gonna give this -4/-4 until end of turn.
Yep.
I'm gonna put 1 damage on the Markov Baron. Sacrifice, or no, we're gonna tap, sack a blood, discard this, trigger, put a damage there, draw a card. Sack a treasure, trigger, ping you.
Go to 9.
Tap that, play Zoya Lava Tongue, move to end step, trigger.
I'll discard this mountain that has been lurking in my hand. I'd really love to not draw land here. And that was not a land, so that helps. Let's see here. Well, I gotta get frisky. So combat, I'll attack for 4.
I'm at 4.
That'll trigger, and then I'll play a Nighthawk Scavenger. Go ahead.
Right.
I don't even know how big that thing is. What do you got, like artifact?
Artifact, creature, land, instant, sorcery.
All right, 5 power.
Tap, draw. All right. So we are gonna tap these.
Oh, you got another Mayhem Devil.
We are gonna cast
Top.
Obnixilis, sack this, trigger. Trigger, ping you for 1.
Go to 8.
This comes in as 3. The token copy comes in as 2. You have no cards in hand?
Got nothing.
I'm gonna tick up and make you lose 2. I'm gonna gain 2.
Go to 6.
I'm gonna tick up, lose 2, I gain 2.
Go to 4.
Play a Cauldron Familiar.
Yep, that's it. Okay. Yeah, almost had it there. Fortunately, couldn't beat the onslaught of removal, which I'm kind of surprised. I feel like I don't remember Sacrifice really playing that much removal in the deck, but I feel like it was just so hard for me to keep really anything on the board.
I play 4 Fatal Push, 4 Claim the Firstborn. With as many Sacrifice outlets as I have, Claim the Firstborn can feel like a removal spell.
Oh, it pretty much is.
It really is.
Most of the time, that's just like, I don't even know how to... almost half the time, it feels like a Searing Blaze. Because you get attacked with the creature, and then it gets sacked. And you still... It's 1 red, deal,
2
whatever.
damage.
Deal X damage to target player, where X is this creature's power. Create a blood token.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it deals it to itself or whatever. That's essentially what that
create a food, create a treasure.
Right.
Make a second Obnixilis.
And I had 3 lands in my opener, which obviously is kind of what you want. And I really needed some action, and then I drew 2 lands in a row, and then we kind of fell off in there. So, okay, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get ready for sideboarding here, and we'll be ready in just a minute. All right, so we are back for our sideboarding here. So we'll kind of talk about what we're bringing in, what we're taking out, and why. So, Hunter, I'll let you go ahead and start.
So not too many changes because I don't really want to, demolish my main deck game plan too much. So I'm just bringing in 4 spot removal spells of different varieties and just kind of trimming on some different things. Like Obnixilis kind of feels a little bit slow. Voldarian Epicure doesn't trade well. Zoya's Legendary and Claim the Firstborn is a less better removal spell in this kind of matchup. So we're just bringing in some random spot removal.
Okay.
Not much.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I'm kind of doing about the same, honestly. I mean, it makes sense. We're both Rakdos decks. So I'm bringing in 2 Abrades and 3 Thoughtseize. I'm the aggressor in the matchup, so I really want the Thoughtseize, maybe take away some of the, the bigger threats you play later in the game, like Obnixilis or Mayhem Devil. Also, maybe try to take a Witch's Oven early. Abrade is just a better removal spell in this matchup than Bitter Triumph, because most of your creatures, they're not really big. Bitter Triumph can kill Obnixilis, but I can pretty efficiently deal with that through combat for the most part. And Abrade obviously can take out the Witch's Oven. I'm cutting 2 Stromkirk Condemns. I think in this matchup, I just don't think it's really that great for the most part. And then I'm cutting 1 Falconwrath Gorger just, again, because of the Thoughtseize. It's kind of, at least for tempo, I'm going to be playing the Thoughtseize about the same time I would be these. And I really like my Sanctum Seekers. I like my Nighthawk Scavengers. I really like the Drana in this matchup. So ultimately, this is just the cards I thought were weaker in the matchup, and I'm taking them out, obviously. So, okay, well, that was I think the quickest sideboarding thing we've ever done before. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and shuffle up for game number 3, and we'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are back for game number 3. I am on the play this time. My hand's looking pretty good. Got a couple lands here, a couple 2s and a 4. How's your hand looking?
Looking good. I'm a little light on lands, but I got some pretty early game stuff to hopefully make up for it to find more.
Sweet, all right. Sounds good. I'll go ahead and start us off here with a swamp, and I'll pass.
All right, I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna play Cliffs untapped and play an Epicure and make a blood.
Nice.
Go ahead.
19.
Oh yeah, deal you 1 too. I guess that's.
Yeah, it's I guess.
Arena does all this stuff for me.
Right. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and I have a couple different options here. I'm just gonna play a Blightstep Pathway, and I'm gonna play Gifted Aetherborn. Go ahead and pass.
Untap and draw. Gonna play a land for turn. And I think I'm just gonna pass.
Okay, I'm gonna draw. A couple different options here. I'm going to start with a Seer Step Pathway. I'm going to move to combat.
Yeah.
I'll take for 2.
I'm going to take 2.
I think this is I think I've cast 4 or 5 of these now, and I think this is the first time I've actually been able to get frisky with it.
Yeah, that is true. I think you were right.
All right. So second main, I'm going to go ahead and tap 2, and I'm going to play a Blood Tithe Harvester.
Absolutely.
And then trigger, I'm going to get a blood token here, and then I'm going to pass.
On your end step, I'm gonna Deadly Dispute, sack the blood
So
to
deadly.
make a treasure and draw 2 cards.
I'll allow it.
And I'm gonna untap and draw. Yikes. Oh, I suppose we're just gonna play a Blood Tithe Harvester and pass.
It's the Spider-Man meme. All right. Let's see. I got a couple different options here. Do that. Do that. Do that. I like it. All right. I'm gonna sack my blood. I'm gonna discard this blood crypt.
Yeah.
I think that's the first or second time I've ever actually cracked a blood token. I loved it. It's hot. Okay, I'm gonna draw. I'll go ahead and play Voldaren Estate. And then I'm going to go ahead and play a Sanctum Seeker.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I'm going to move to combat.
Yes, sir.
I will attack for 5. I have 2 Sanctum Seeker triggers, so you'll lose 2 and then I'll gain 2.
Yup. And I think we're going to trade with the Aetherborn and take 3.
Okay. I'll gain 2 more. Go to this much. And I'll pass to you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you didn't know my creatures are indestructible.
Oh. Untap.
It's an Anthem with the Commander Crane playmat.
Alright, so we are gonna play a land, play a Mayhem Devil,
Mayhem.
sack this for a black trigger, deal you 1, and then we're gonna Fatal Push the Seeker.
Gross.
Go ahead.
Alright, untap, draw. A couple different options here. I'm going to tap 1. I'll go ahead and play a Falcon Wrathgorger. And then I will...
He is the wrathiest.
I'm going to tap 3. And I'm going to play Markov Baron.
That's pretty decent.
And then move to combat. I
Yeah.
will attack for 4.
I'm gonna jump.
Okay. And I'll pass to you.
Untap, draw. Okay. I think, therefore I'm gonna play a Blood Tithe Harvester and make a blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I am gonna pass.
Alright. Tap, draw. What do I want to do here? I think I'm going to start with activating Voldaren Estate. I'm going to make a blood.
Sounds good.
And then I will sack it. Actually, do I want to? I got a couple of options I can do here. Because I could use my Blood Tithe. I could kill your Blood Tithe, which then would let me keep my Markov Baron. But then I don't have any pressure. So yeah, we'll sack the blood. And I'll
trigger.
Sure.
We're just gonna deal you 1 damage.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna draw a card. Yep. Okay. That's kind of unfortunate, but that's how it be. I'll go ahead and move to combat.
Yeah. Attack with the homies.
Yep, I'll attack for 7.
Well, I'm gonna Fatal Push the Blood Tithe Harvester, and I will take 3. Go to the other side of the die and go to 10.
And I'll pass to you.
Alright, I'm gonna untap and draw.
Really drawing a lot of lands here, which is kind of unfortunate, because I'm only playing 22.
I'm gonna play a Pathway. I'm gonna play a Mayhem Devil.
Yeah, I might as well just pick it up at this point. That's probably... Yeah.
Because, yeah, then we get to sack this, kill that, trigger, deal 1 there, deal 1 to you.
Yeah, I'll pick it up. Okay. I got nothing. Yep. Nope. I knew it with double Mayhem Devil. I was pretty much dead at that point.
Yeah, I had double Mayhem Devil in the opener with 2 lands, so I was just really pressing to get like the 3rd land.
Right. I had 3 lands in my opener, which, like, my highest thing in my deck is 4, so I don't really want to go too much higher than that. But yeah, and then it was just like at that point, like I kept drawing more lands and I just ran out of gas, unfortunately. So, okay, well, we'll go ahead and shuffle up for game number 4. We'll see you in just a second. All right, so we are back for our final game. I am on the play. My hand's looking pretty solid again. You know, got a couple lands, couple 3s, couple 1s. How's your hand looking?
It's looking all right. I've got some 2s, got some 1s, got some lands, so we're going to be hopefully just doing the same thing as we have been.
All right, sounds good. I'll go ahead and start us off with Blackleaf's Cliffs and a Falconwrath Gorger. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to draw. I am going to play a Blackleaf Cliffs and a Voldarian Epicure. Deal you 1 and make a blood. Go ahead.
Okay, so originally my hand wasn't going to be quite as... Actually, no, I'll play this one. Because of your dude, but this kind of works out. So I'm going to play a Falconwrath Gorger, and then I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play a Markov Baron.
All right.
And I'll pass.
Untap.
I didn't really want to trade with your dude, but then that, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, that did indeed work out, didn't it?
Well, for me, not so much for you, but... There were a couple different 2-1s I could have played in this deck, but I think Gorger's the best, especially with all the discard stuff.
Well, we're going to take 2 and just play a Blood Tithe Harvester and make a blood and pass.
Alrighty. Tap, draw. And I'll go ahead and play a Voldaren Estate here. Got a lot of different options I could do here, because I could do that, but I don't think I like that as much. So I'm going to tap 3. I'll go ahead and play a Nighthawk Scavenger. And then I'm going to tap 3, and I'm going to play another Markov Baron.
It's pretty gross.
And then I'm going to move to combat, and I'll attack for 4. Not with this, just this.
Yeah.
Got so many dudes.
I suppose I'm going to trade.
Okay. Go ahead.
Untap and draw. Play a land for turn.
This is a really fast start. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, also this is a counter.
We are gonna go for the throat on the scavenger.
You went for its throat.
And I'm gonna pass.
Okay. All right.
Haha, I'm in danger.
I'm in danger. All right. I'll play a swamp here. I'll move to combat.
Yeah.
So this is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'll block there.
Okay.
Take
6. Yes.
Go to 12.
And then I'll pass to you.
On your end step, we're going to push one of the barons because I have the thing that makes it do that. Revolt. That's what it's called.
I'll respond. I'm just going to make a blood token.
Sure.
And then this will die.
Untap, draw. Suppose we're going to play a Blood Tithe Harvester and make a blood and play a Witch's Oven.
I'll respond to the Witch's Oven. I'll push it.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Tap. Please be something good. That wasn't it. But it wasn't the worst thing, I guess, that could have happened. I will move to combat.
Yeah.
And I will attack for 5.
Go to 7.
Go ahead.
Untap, draw.
Could have discarded it, but I think I kind of wanted to play.
Play a land. Play a Cauldron Familiar. Drain you for 1.
18.
So you go.
All right. End step. I will make a blood.
All right.
I got 2 bloods. I'm very bloody on this day. Tap. Draw. I'll go ahead and discard a card.
Sure.
And then sack a blood and I'll draw a card.
Sure.
Alright, you gotta be kidding me. Oh boy. So this is how it's gonna go, huh? Oh jeez. Discard. I'm gonna sack blood. Discard a Sulfur Springs.
All right.
Draw a card. Okay, that was not so. That wasn't nothing, but wish I would have drawn that in a different order. Would have worked out really well. Let's see here. I'll move to combat.
Yep.
I will attack for 5 again.
All right, I'm gonna block there. Before damage, put the cat in the oven and make a food.
Yep.
Take 2.
Yes. And second main phase. Played Blood Tithe Harvester.
Yeah.
And I'll get a blood, and I'll pass to you.
On your end step, we're gonna sack the food to bring back the cat and drain.
17.
And still on your end step, we're gonna Deadly Dispute, sack a blood, draw 2, and make a treasure. We're gonna untap, draw.
These Voldaren estates have been pretty nice.
We're gonna
claiming. Yep.
Claim the Blood Tithe Harvester, attack with it, and then we're gonna sacrifice it to Obnixilis.
Sure.
And then we're gonna tick down this one to make a 1/1 devil.
Yeah.
Tick up this one, and you either discard a card or lose 2, and I will gain 2 because I control it.
I don't mind discarding. The problem is I gotta have like
the cards to discard.
Yeah, I gotta not keep drawing these lands.
And I am gonna pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. Okay, that was a fine draw. But it really wasn't also that good. Okay, well, I got a couple different options here. Man, I'm just drawing everything in the wrong order here. This is not working very well for me. Fortunately, I don't really have any good attacks here, so it's kind of unfortunate. But we'll move to combat. I'll attack you for 5.
I'm gonna block like this. Then before damage, we're gonna sack the cat to make a food.
I'll respond to the sacking of your cat. I will braid your witch's oven.
Sure.
Okay. So then you'll take 3.
I blocked and then before.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, yep. And then that's a die.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ping that. And I get the food.
And so even if I would, no, I don't know. So yeah, I'll pass to you.
Well, on your end step, we're gonna sack the food to bring back the cat and drain.
11.
Untap.
At this point, if I'm gonna win this, I need a flyer.
Well, I suppose we're gonna tick this one down to make a devil and tick this up.
Go to 9.
And we're gonna attack you for 1.
I'm at 8.
Go ahead.
Something good. I guess it wasn't terrible. But it wasn't that good. I mean, it was good enough, I guess, but still wasn't good. I don't think there's anything I can do here. Yeah. Well, pretty sure I'm dead here, but just for the sake of the game, I will pass.
Well, I suppose on your end step, we're gonna Deadly Dispute, sack of blood, draw 2, make a treasure.
Treasure.
Tap. Draw.
What you are.
And then, yeah, we're gonna play Mayhem Devil.
Yep, and I got a bitter triumph, but I don't have anything to discard, unfortunately. So yeah, I really liked my opener, but I just didn't draw really any gas, and then it sucked too because I went sack my blood, discard down to try to draw something.
Yeah.
And then I drew the Harvester, which if I could have drawn it like the turn earlier, I could have, the draw earlier, I could have pitched it to the blood and then cast it and then still draw another card. But that was the I couldn't get the engine going for the most part, which was mostly the issue. So okay, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna de-sideboard here, and then we'll be back for the post-match discussion. So we'll be back in just a second. All right, so we are back for the post-match discussion here. So for those who haven't watched it before, there's a couple things that we go over. We talk about how the match went overall. Then we talk about cards that... Oh, no, we talk about it. Our decks, like, in regards to, like, the entire metagame, like, if you kind of went to, like, a 1K or, like, an RCQ with it. And then the last thing we'll talk about is cards that we wish were in the format, or, like, hypothetical cards that would kind of help boost our decks overall. So I'll start with the match overall. So it was... I feel like Game 3 wasn't, like, super-duper close, I feel like. But other than that, the games were all pretty close.
Yeah.
They all kind of went the same. And what was also nice is we really didn't have too many, like, non-games for the most part. But I think largely that's, like, because of, like, Blood Tithe Harvester. And, like, we drew so many extra cards that, like, they're, like, odds of us having non-games were a lot lower for the most part.
Yeah, I will say real quick, I did not think that blood tokens were going to be a substantial thing in constructed formats. Like, it wasn't limited. But honestly, it's been pretty great.
Yeah, I think... Well, like, I think the only blood card that really sees play is Blood Tithe Harvester, right? Is there another card?
Well, there's like the Voldarian Epicure sees plays in a few different places as well.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
There's probably one or two that we're not thinking about off the top of the head.
Yeah, Voldarian Estate, bro. No,
yeah.
Which that was actually super good. Which that's actually part of I'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, essentially all the games went the same. I had a pretty good opener, had a good curve. And then, late game, we traded a lot of resources. And then late game, it pretty much came down to who draw better for the most part. Like, I know game 1, I was able to get ahead with, like, Nighthawk Scavenger, which was really good. And then I know, like, games 2 and 3, I had, like, Sanctum Seeker and such, but wasn't able to keep it on the battlefield and then just kind of lost to the incremental value from the Sacrifice deck. And then game 3 sucked because I had 3 lands in my opener, and then I just, like, drew everything out of order. So the idea, which... I didn't really get to show this off, but the idea is with Falconwrath Gorger and Stromkirk Condemned, like, you discard your vampire, like, you pitch it to either, like, Bitter Triumph late game, or you pitch it to itself to give your vampires +1/+1. And then you can cast it because they have Madness, so the idea is, like, you just get so much value by self-discarding all of your cards. But with how we were trading resources and everything and not, like, having the right cards to do it, it was kind of awkward because I couldn't really do my thing. At that point, I was just playing, like, Savannah Lions and, like, regular vanilla cards for the most part, which still wasn't bad, but definitely the flying vampires were pretty huge in that matchup.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, though, I really liked the deck. I think I was only playing 22 lands, and I felt like I was getting really flooded, which I think 22 is a good number, especially since, like, my curve goes up to 4. I want to hit everything on curve, sack the bloods, pay 1 to sacrifice the blood token, discarding my vampire to cast it, to draw something, that kind of thing. So I think 22 is a good number. I feel like I just got mildly unlucky, at least with that. So I'll let you take over from here.
I think the match went fairly well. There was definitely some points where, like, it was definitely like a who can draw better. Most of the games felt pretty back and forth. It also, like, the game 1 did show where Rakdos Sacrifice can really stumble with, like, you're trading resources, you're interacting with the other decks, and then if you, like, just stumble just a little bit when the other person is still, like, sort of doing things, they can kind of, like, swing away and they can take the game away. But, like, there was also a couple of games where it showcased that Rakdos Sac can kind of, like, dig itself out of a grave if it really can, like, draw good and have the good interactions that it needs. I also really liked the Madness deck. I do wish we would have saw the discard combo with the 2 creatures and the Lord, but I do have to say, like, go and play dude Lord into tap dudes, play Lord.
That was insane.
Sweet.
That was definitely the coolest thing I did was with the Convoke with that, because, like, I always know in the back of my mind it has Convoke, but I must say, like, the games I was playing, like, beforehand, it was very rare that I actually, like, Convoked it, but in that case, I had my opener, and I'm like, actually, yeah, I don't want to trade with the Voldarian Epicure, so yeah, I'm just going to Convoke and let's do this. So...
Yeah, and at that point in the game, I only had a single Fatal Push in my hand, and I think it wasn't until, like, 2 turns later I drew the Abrade, it might have been. But, yeah, if it if it weren't for me drawing that removal spell at that point, you probably would have taken over that game because you just started, like, you kept applying pressure after that.
Right.
But yeah, the Convoke Lord was honestly really sweet.
It was good. The one card I didn't get to play a lot of, well, I did play it the one game, but the board state wasn't that good for it, was Sanctum Seeker. Like, it's only a 3/4, but man, when that card was in Standard, I lost that card so much. I just, attack with 4 vampires, drain you for 4. Like, at that point, it's like, okay, well, like, even if I, like, when I used to play against it, it's like, okay, even if I, like, start blocking and killing these vampires, like, I'm just gonna die to the drain. The combat damage isn't even gonna matter.
It's just Black Hell Rider.
Yeah, literally, actually. Actually, I never even really thought about that. It actually makes it sound better than it really is. So.
Right.
But anyways, no, I guess, do you have any more notes on the match?
Yeah, even the Sanctum Seeker plan, I like it too because I like especially with tribal synergistic decks like this, I like having something that's on synergy, but is also like a healthy top end in most cases. Like,
right.
I played a lot of standard decks when Khans of Tarkir was big with Gideon Ally of Zendikar, and there were a lot of like super low to the ground decks before Gideon on the top end to kind of smooth some things out. So if you would have went a turn where you're like 1 drop, 2 drop, 1 drop, 2 drop, play Sanctum Seeker, attack you, it's just like, yeah, I'm probably dead now.
Right. I feel like that's always what happened when, like, Vampires was good in Standard. I feel like every time I played against that deck, they would go, like, turn 1, like, some sort of disruption, and then they'd go, like, Gifted Aetherborn into, I'm pretty sure Adanto Vanguard was a vampire at the time.
I think it was a vampire soldier.
So they'd go Adanto Vanguard, and then they'd be like, man, what other vampires were good at that time? I don't know. They would just play like 1 or 2 more, and then they'd just be like, Sanctum Seeker. And I'm like, well, that's probably about it.
Yeah. Whatever advantage I just got or just had is definitely gone now.
No, it was, they would play, the Legion guy. What's the 1-mana guy? I'm forgetting its name.
Knight of the Ebon Legion.
Yes, Knight of the Ebon Legion. They would play that on 1, and then they would get the counter on it. And then, like, even if you stabilize late game, they would just, like, start sending it in because they would just pump it, give it death touch, and it was just
and it was like most of the time, especially if you manage to like play a dude turn 1 and turn 2, and you like attack him for damage, and you go Knight, they both get counters, you untap and start pumping it, it's probably going to be bigger than everything on your opponent's board. And if it isn't bigger than it's going to trade up because of the death touch. So that card was so good. Oh,
right. I'm definitely a big fan of it. I was not on that side when it was in Standard, though. I was playing like just like Gruul decks. Weird, I know, but that's pretty well. And I was playing a lot of Golgari too, so I was on the other side of that.
I think I lost enough of it. I think I lost enough times to it with Ryan playing it to make me want to start playing it.
Right. Exactly. Oh, my last note that I want to include with this match is Mayhem Devil's so good.
It is.
Like, it's like Mayhem Devil, like, it's funny because like we were talking about this like off camera, but like when the card was printed, no one was really playing it. Like, it was just like a random 3/3, and there wasn't a lot of synergies. And then they started making all the food cards, and it started seeing a bunch of play, saw a ton of play with that. And then then they made all the foods, and then it really took off. Well, like, it was with a cat oven is really when it started taking off. And then on top of that, they made all the blood tokens. So then Mayhem Devil got even more playability because of like Blood Tithe Harvester and things like that.
Yeah, like they printed Mayhem Devil, and then they did the cat oven stuff, and then they just slowly printed more meat for the deck, like Obnixilis, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, if you want to play that, Zoya now. There's 3 different cards that are basically Deadly Dispute, but you make something other than a treasure. So, you know, it has slowly gotten better, and that is another thing. That's why I like to play Obnixilis and Zoya in the deck, is because it cares a little bit more about the sacrifice thing. And I like Zoya more than Kroxa just because, like, it feels like it's a repeatable Kroxa effect.
It pretty much is. It's not a Baneslayer, but it's basically just a card where it's like, if you don't answer this, like, you're gonna die to it.
Yeah.
And like, Kroxa is more of like, it is like that, but Kroxa, you're not getting online. Like, Kroxa's more of just like, oh, I got all this open mana late game. Yeah, well, I guess I'll have a 6/6.
I'll play this.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's kind of how Kroxa is for the most part, but Zoya is just like, yeah, I'm playing this. Oh, and then end step, you're taking damage or losing cards, and like, it's just like every end step, you're just getting all that value, and you're always gonna descend with that deck. Like, always gonna descend.
There's always a way to do it with the deck, and that's another thing is the deck really preys upon trying to like trade resources a bunch with your opponent, and that card just really helps with that.
Okay, all right. So I think we kind of talked a lot about the match here. So I guess the next part we'll move into is our decks overall in the Pioneer metagame. So I'll let you go ahead and start with that.
So in light of recent bans in Pioneer, Karn the Great Creator specifically, I think Rakdos, Sacrifice, and the different versions that it comes with, whether it be mine, the more of the mid-rangey version, or like the Oni Cult Anvil, whatever it is, the Anvil sack list, I think those are going to start popping up a lot more now that Karn isn't in the picture, because they don't just have their entire decks shut down by a 4-mana Planeswalker. And I think you'll see a lot of that, like, spread out through the format. I think there's going to be a lot more artifact synergies that are going to be popping up, a lot more artifacts in general. But I think Rakdos Sack is going to be on the climb. It's been tier 2 for a while because of Karn. I think it'll probably slowly shift into that 1.5 to 1 slot, depending on how things move along. But I do think it's going to be pretty decent. It was good against mono green, even with the Karn, so I think without the Karn it might be a little bit more favored to win like a 60-40 percentage even now. So I do think it's actually pretty good for the meta, not gonna lie.
I think a lot of it depends on it's like a little bit of like a not really a domino effect, but I guess it's like, okay, Karn is banned, what decks are good or better? How does it do against those decks? So like I think like I could be wrong, but I have to imagine the Boros like Convoke lists are probably not a good matchup for Sack, but I don't really know that super well.
I've only played it a few times on Arena. I think I'm like 50-50 with it. It all really depends on if I can turn 3, Windmill Slam, Mayhem Devil, and untap with it, I can normally stabilize. But if they go 1-drop, 2-drop, Gleeful Demolition, Convoke a dude out, make all my dudes 2/2s, I probably lose.
Okay, that's fair.
So it's pretty swingy, to be honest.
Well, okay, that's fair. I think a lot of it, like Rakdos, like we both think that like Rakdos midrange especially gets way better with Karn being banned.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if Rakdos midrange gets better, I think to a certain extent also just Rakdos Sacrifice just gets better.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any lists online either playing Zayoa or whatever its name is.
I don't know how to pronounce it
I
either.
haven't seen a lot of people trying that card out, which again, in that deck, you're going to descend every single turn. Like, you're always going to do it. There's no way that you're not going to. So, at that point, like, I think the deck probably just gets a lot better. Like, I like it overall.
And it also has Death Touch, so, like, it always is going to trade up if you really need it to. But yeah, with like, doing the Witch's Oven plan with the Cauldron Familiar, having all the blood tokens, you're almost always going to descend. So yeah, I think that card's honestly a really, really good addition.
Right. All right, so vampires in today's meta. So we'll go in the way back machine, or at least back to like 2019, 2020. Vampires was actually like a tier 1 deck. Like Vampires was actually very good.
Yeah.
It was just like basically it was mono black aggro. It's actually part of the reason Smuggler's Copter got banned was actually kind of in lieu of also Vampires a little bit. And the deck, it was just good, just full of just solid aggressive black creatures in the deck was pretty good. Obviously Pioneer's changed a lot. It's kind of fallen off a little bit. And I guess more specifically, like Madness Vampires, like there's a couple different flavors of vampires you can play. I would say personally the version of vampires I like the most is black-white vampires, because you get the 4-mana Edgar that can transform. You get some better sideboard cards. Not that they're bad in Rakdos. The main thing you don't get is Blood Tithe Harvester, and Blood Tithe Harvester is really, really good. But there's also another vampire I'm forgetting that you also get in white.
Is it the... No, because it's not a Lord, is it?
Edgar?
No, there's not a 2-mana Lord for vampires, is there?
Oh, yeah, Legion Lieutenant. Yeah, you get Legion Lieutenant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. So that actually, with white, you basically get multiple Lords, because you get the Legion Lieutenant and you get Edgar, which is pretty sweet.
And it does Wedding Announcement make vampires, or does it make humans?
I think it makes humans.
I also think it makes humans off the top of my head. Might be wrong, but even, like, if they make vampires, that card's really, really good, too.
Oh, yeah. So, Vampires as a whole is a solid deck. Like, you could definitely go to your FNM, and you could do pretty well with it. You could probably go to your store championship if they're, not that they're Pioneer anymore, which Wizards needs to fix that. We'll talk about that on a later day. But I guess what I'm trying to say is the deck is pretty solid. If you're looking for a good aggro deck, it's definitely a good way to go. I guess the Madness Vampire specifically, a little worse than Black-White in my opinion, but still overall a good deck. How it fares in the metagame, I guess you tell me for the most part. I guess I would say it's like, think of most of the regular aggro decks, whatever its good matchups are and the bad matchups are is probably what I'd stick with. I wouldn't play against Lotus Combo with it, but I think like post-ban mono green, I probably actually like the matchup. The flyers are strong and they're good.
Oh, yeah.
You get all the death touchers. They can trade with other creatures. I think aggro mirrors are probably okay. Again, death touching, flyers, lifelinkers. That's exactly what you want in like a traditional aggro match.
Gifted Aetherborn is probably really good against mono white humans.
Oh yeah, 2/3
or like burn.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I think overall the deck would be pretty solid. Sorry, and the last. Oh no, you still got to talk about your deck. Like, oh wait, no, we talked about it in that game. Okay, so last thing we'll talk about is hypothetical new cards or reprints that would really help our decks. So I'll go ahead and start with that. I feel like we haven't played vampires before, but I feel like we've talked about this a little bit. Stromkirk Captain, I think would be okay. It's a 3-mana lord, which it's hard for those to be good now. Which there's actually like 3 different vampire lords that are not in Pioneer presently. Like there's Stromkirk Captain, which gives him 1/1 and first strike. There's the Captivating Vampire, where you can like tap 5 vampires, like gain control of one. And I feel like there's definitely another one. I'm not like Bloodline Keeper, I think is the name of it. Is a lord. So there's definitely a few lords that are not in. I think a card that would be pretty helpful, which you'd normally never play this card fair, is Bloodghast. Everybody forgets that that's a vampire.
It is a vampire. That is pretty good.
And that would be definitely pretty huge for the deck, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with, I guess in the Madness deck specifically, is, you're discarding your vampires, you're getting all this value. And that, you don't even have to cast it. Like with the Madness, you might not even cast it for the Madness. You might just play your land drop and then just get it right back.
Yeah, well, like you just have a turn where you've got a few mana and you've got Bloodghast, you played Blood Tithe Harvester, you've got your blood token, so you're like, yeah, discard this, draw a card, play a land, get this black, play my lord, attack you.
Exactly.
It seems pretty good.
Yeah, no, I dig it overall. I think with vampires, like that would be kind of the main thing for the deck to improve for the most part, but I never, like, it would take quite a bit for vampires, I feel like, to like really jump a tier for the most part. Obviously, there's always a chance. Vampires are on like most planes for the most part, so there's always a chance that there'll be a couple of cards. We could end up seeing some in Murders at Karlov Manor. I know there are. There's vampires on Ravnica, so
probably.
I guess anything's possible, and we'll just kind of see what happens with that. So, all right, I'll let you go ahead and take over here.
I think that for Rakdos Sacrifice, one card specifically would be Ravenous Squirrel printed.
Ravenous Squirrel.
Because I do believe it states whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, you put a counter on it.
Yeah.
So, you play your squirrel on turn 1, and then turn 2 you go oven, cat, and you could potentially attack with what that would be a 3/3 on turn 2 if you did the cat oven thing.
You sack your cat, and then you sack your food token. So yeah, it's 3/3.
And then, and then it also sacrifices stuff later in the game to draw cards, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, it's like 1 black-green, like sacrifice artifact or creature, draw a card.
Yeah, whatever. Draw a card, gain a life, or draw a card, lose a life. And it's fairly easy to just splash black or splash green into decks like this. Like, not only do you have the treasure tokens, but you just throw in like 2 overgrown tombs instead of swamps and call it a day.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the other, which, not that it's as good as that, but like I think like any free sack outlay like that, like even if you just played like Viscera Seer or what is it? I always forget the name of it. It's the 1 black zombie, 0/1, can't block, Carrion Feeder. Like, yeah, like even a Carrion Feeder, which Squirrel would definitely be the best, hands down. Like that would be the best one.
I suppose the only, Squirrel would probably be the most fair card that you could put into the deck. The most unfair card that this deck would want would be a 110% Blood Artist.
Oh, God. Blood Artist would be real.
But I think Blood Artist would be way too good for the Pioneer format, in my opinion. And not just for the Sacrifice deck, just for, like, decks in general. Because it would generate, like, could you imagine, like, Rally the Ancestors with Blood Artist and Pioneer? That'd be so good.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Which Rally, they already got enough pieces now for sure. You've got a lot to work with Rally.
Yes, you do.
With Bartolome, and then actually, I was thinking also Return to Ranks. That was the Malia combo plays Return to the Ranks, but yeah, Rally specifically, yeah. You got Bartolome. You don't need another free sack outlet. We're good. You don't need any more pieces for a minute.
No, absolutely not.
So, but yeah, actually, I love Bartolome. We need to definitely. I featured it on the channel in a couple decks so far, but that card's just so good.
Yeah, it is really
actually
good.
With Bartolome, it's sacrifice an artifact or creature. So is it worth playing? Maybe playing Mardu sack, and then you can also play like Showdown of the Scalds.
That's awesome.
I just thought of that like just now.
That doesn't sound horrible because then you could also potentially play like the
Duskrow's Reliquary.
What card?
Duskrow's Reliquary. It's a portable hole with Ward 2, but it exiles any artifact or creature opponent controls. You have to sacrifice a creature or artifact when it enters. That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, I was thinking of... Oh god, no, I can't even think about it at all. I don't know. Anyway, I completely just... Totally just blanked on what the card was that I was thinking of. No, it wasn't Hot Soup. Not at all Hot Soup.
But, okay, well, all right. Well, Hunter, thanks for joining us on this episode.
For having me.
Which, actually, funny story, like, we basically decided to record this last second. I know it's been hard because as of the recording of this video, it's like mid-December, which obviously that means all the holiday seasons and the weather in Michigan is kind of rough sometimes. So it's definitely a lot harder to organize doing something like this. But basically this morning, I was just like, hey, you want to record an episode? He's like, yeah, sure, what time? And then here we are. So
here we are.
All right, I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. Let us know in the comment section below what do you think about our lists and what you would change, if you would make any changes about them, as well as our deck lists are in the description below if you'd like to check those out for yourself. So I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.